Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Monday Night Lights live here on Tusk Talk with Ty on the old YouTube. Make sure you guys do us a favor, like, share, hit the subscribe button, all that fun stuff. Make sure you have your notifications turned on. Shout out to Patreon supporters. You have time, if you haven't yet, to upgrade to the legendary status or just join, straight up just join the Patreon and join the yellow or the $8 club or the legendary status. You got a shot at winning a card. We've had some new winners, new card winners. Some it's always good. Like it when we get some new blood for winning these cards. And we've also got people that have a small collection of all the cards that they've won, autographed or not. I don't know what Tim is or Travis is doing. We're waiting on Tim Neal. Tim was supposed to be here. No clue what's going on there, but I'm sure he'll join us when he has the opportunity. Again, welcome. It is Monday Night Lights Live. Crazy weekend. I've been behind it all week. Went to Silver Dollar City all day yesterday. 10,000 steps, over 5 miles walked. I kept up with it on my Apple Watch. My dogs were barking. I don't know where Travis. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what Travis is doing, but you know what? I think he's did we just have a moment where there it is.
My audio is gonna suck today.
Oh, here we go. We're still also waiting on Tim. And there is Tim.
Yeah, I don't know where Tim's at. Can you hear me okay?
Travis rubbed off his technical difficulties on me.
Yeah,
Dude,
I guess
the second we started, my AirPods died, bro.
Well, no, the second we started, all my videos, everything that we were going to play vanished. It just all went off and that's why we were like a minute late going live. Like it just nothing would pull up.
Well, I was having my own technical difficulties, so it looks like it's just that kind of night.
It is. It's that kind of night. That's all right.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, we do appreciate everyone for being here. We got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to talk about. Bobby Petrino after the game against Texas A&M. We'll get right into that first, and then we're going to head right into the Bobby Petrino conversation. It just makes too much sense. Now I want to start this off with, I'm not saying that he should be the guy. Okay, I'm not saying that, oh yeah, no, he's my number one. No, my number one was Dan Mullen. He's now, it looks like, he's off the board.
Yeah.
So
that's not going good.
No, but before we get into all that, let's listen to Bobby Petrino after the game. This was after Texas A&M, just kind of his thoughts.
You know, the negative plays by Tailon is he's got to throw the ball away. He's got to get out of the pocket. Coming out, we try to double move. He got pressure, and instead of just getting outside the tackle and throwing it out of bounds, we took that huge loss, and that ended up being, something that killed us in the game.
You spoke as if you're very.
So before we go on to that, I made a comment. Keep in mind, I had not seen Bobby's post game at that point during the live, and I said, and I've still got people DMing me over this. Group messages, people, some friends of mine, not real thrilled with what I said, and then some comments that were made in the post. And I've still got a guy commenting, arguing with me about what I said about Tailon Green. I want to make it clear, I never said Tailon Green was a bad quarterback. In fact, I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks probably in college football. If he were on a better team, I don't think there's any doubt that this dude would be talked about as a Heisman candidate. His numbers are incredible. So we're going to get to that later as well. We're going to talk about Tailon Green's number and his trajectory. However, I did say I don't think he's got the clutch gene. He doesn't have it. While you could chalk that up to Arkansas losing, because of the defense, that's completely fair and valid. We can also talk about how the offensive line they're trending in the wrong direction lately. Completely valid. But when you need him to step up and make plays in the end of a game, I mean, Bobby Petrino just laid it out for you right there. I mean, he struggles, especially with the game on the line. We see him do this. He takes these sacks for big losses, or he just struggles. You go back to that fourth down earlier in the game. He missed two wide open players. He just, he just reacted incorrectly, I guess. Here's the rest of it.
Confident that the team's going to keep competing. Is that what you've maybe sensed in the locker room afterwards?
We're going to keep competing. No question about it. These are good kids. They have stuck together, and we're going to keep building on. It's not going to be the last time in their life they go through hard times. It's going to mean a lot more when they have kids, and the alarm clock goes off at 6 a.m. and they don't feel good. They get up and go to work and do a good job anyway. That's what this is supposed to be about. So we're just going to keep pounding at that, and I feel good about them. Every time I talk to them, they're very attentive. They look me in the eyes, and they want to win games. They want to win football games. We've got to give them a better opportunity as a staff to get that victory.
I love that response, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good response. I mean, he didn't throw the players under the bus, and he has every right to throw that defense under the bus. Like he could
throw them out of the country.
Throw that defense off a cliff, but he doesn't. He's saying, "Look, we got to coach them. We got to coach them." Imagine that you got some guys that aren't performing the way that you think they should perform, and instead of going, "They suck," they're the blue light special. He's saying, "We got to coach them and put them in a position to win."
Yeah, and the way the players are playing is a reflection on you as a coach anyway. So trashing your players is never a good look, because it's well, your job is to get the most potential out of these players. So maybe you suck at this.
I mean, again, what Travis or Tim said about the blue light special thing, that was absolutely something Sam Pittman said.
That was the craziest amount of work I've ever heard.
That moment, I think, for a lot of fans and even media people I've talked to, every one of them said, even though he might be, it's accurate, it's true, doesn't necessarily mean that it needed to be said.
Yeah,
well, turnovers come by pressuring the quarterback and hitting the quarterback and disrupting the quarterback, both fumbling and interceptions, because when you disrupt him and hit him as he's releasing the ball and getting tip balls, then you get interceptions. So some of it is our inability to get to the quarterback and pressure him enough and put enough pressure on him. I feel like we're getting a lot more people to the ball in the run game. We just haven't been able to get it out. So we, got to hit a little harder, but I think it starts with getting more pressure on the quarterback.
Now, because I'm sorry, really quick, I just want to say, because I'm so behind today, I did not get a chance to listen to Petrino talk today, so I am a little bit behind. We've had all kinds of issues. My wife has a flat tire. We've been dealing with that, and then on top of that, trying to get caught up for tonight. I was at Silver Dollar City all day yesterday, and it just really put me behind, but got to spend some time with the family. But hearing again everything that he said, and I like kind of what chat's picking up on. This is what you want to hear a coach. This is what you want to hear him say. This is the kind of post game you don't mind hearing from your coach. Someone was going to say something. I don't know if it was Travis or Tim.
I was just going to say, I think what he said bears out in the stats. I can't quote you the Texas A&M stats, but I do feel like, having watched it, that we did hold their running back better. If I remember right, that we did swarm to the running better than we have the last 3 games. If it's wrong, it sure looked like it on television anyway.
It does seem like there is an attempt to to swarm to the run game a little bit better. But yeah, A&M still ran for 200 and almost 20 yards. And,
how much of that was Reed? Because that's different than swarming to the running back.
Well, Reuben Owens had 14 carries for 69 yards, and then Reed had the 6 carries for 55.
Emmett Smith's kid was out there looking like his dad against us.
7 carries, 52 yards for Smith. Yeah, 7.4 yards a carry. So it's still like, we know what we were up against earlier in the year. I mean, it was trash. It was terrible, and it is starting to get a little bit better, at least in that aspect. But they're still A&M could run the ball really well. They're very effective. This offense is good. That's a playoff, not just a playoff offense. That's an offense that will advance so long as their defense, can hold their own. And I've got questions about their defense, but you know what? It is.
I think their defense is really good.
A&M's?
Yeah, I just think our offense was better.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree. They played 2 top 25 offenses all year through 7 games.
I had a good time watching their defense. Is all I'm saying.
But you know how many points they gave up in those 2 games? 82 points against 2 top 20. And by the way, A&M is barely a top 25 offense. Last I looked, that might have changed.
Well, Le'Veon Moss is missing, right?
For A&M, on their offense.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I think that made a difference positively for us. I thought you said they're barely a top 25 offense. Maybe you meant to say defense.
No, what I meant Notre Dame was who I was talking about.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Notre Dame is barely a top 25 offense. Last I looked, I might have said A&M. I don't know, but yeah, what I'm saying is A&M has only played 2 actually good offenses this year, and I just haven't been that impressed. Again, they've got a player on that defensive line that's a legit first round draft pick. They've got some pieces that are really good as a unit, though. I'd say they're maybe slightly above mid. They're maybe just like a little bit above mid.
You think Auburn's defense is better?
That's a good question. If you, and I mean, we'll talk about it on Wednesday, but if you paired them with a more competent offense, who knows what they could do, right? I mean, when your offense is having the issues that they're having, and they're having to punt as often, and that you're putting your defense on the field that often, and their offense Auburn's got some talent on defense. There's no doubt, but unfortunately, their offense is it's booty cheeks. Let's just call it like it is.
We're getting $50 million with no offer.
I wanted to play this. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut y'all off. I wanted to play this video as we transition into this part about Bobby Petrino. This is CBS Sports, and this is what these guys had to say about Franklin and Arkansas. So again, we're trying to make a point here with why it's starting to make more and more sense that Petrino is likely the guy. Listen to what they say.
You can afford to take a little bit less if you get a prime job, if that job comes with certain guarantees of spending. Like if I'm James Franklin, there's no way in hell I'm taking Arkansas given what they spend on football right now. Like their football money, they could talk about theoretical football money and maybe they're willing to spend it. Maybe they didn't want to spend it for Sam Pittman, but they didn't spend it for Sam Pittman. So like if I'm James Franklin, maybe I take a little bit less salary, but I'm like, hey, I want 16 rev share and I want 12 NIL on top of that pledged, right? Like that needs to be there so I can compete. Because you can't win at Arkansas right now, given how they actually spend for Sam Pittman. It's just like the money ain't mathing, right? So if you look at that, there are some jobs which maybe could come open that maybe he'd be a really good fit at. I
don't know how much of that you heard, Travis. I know you had some issues there, but this rhetoric is kind of going around that Arkansas, it's maybe it's not the job that everyone thinks it is because they're unwilling to spend. And I mean, I don't know that I agree with this because I do think there's going to be money there. I do think that everything that's out there is that, talking about just from like the local media is that the boosters will come along. But like you said, it's theoretical money. What we do know is you are what you show me, and what Arkansas has shown, if you dip just a little bit, boosters are going to back out. I think that's something I've also heard listening to other podcasts. I think they will open the wallet, and I agree with Hero Blake here. Boosters will open their wallet for Bobby. I do agree. I think they will. But this leads us into our topic of the video. Bobby Petrino makes too much sense. Now I've got like a pretty good spiel here. I was accused of doing that in the live show about Tailon Green. I was told I went on a Tailon Green spiel. But I do have something here on Bobby Petrino, but I'm gonna let you guys go first. Just your thoughts on whether or not does it just seem like the clouds have parted and Petrino's going to be the guy to you?
Well, I'll just tell you the same thing that we've been talking about, that I've said to you in discussions offline. When you are looking for already a major defensive upgrade, I don't think you bring in a different head coach and say goodbye to your 500-yard per game offensive coordinator. I don't think that makes any sense, because then you're looking for a premier defensive person and a premier offensive person, and you just don't find that very often in one head coach. When we talk about head coaches, we're like, well, that's a defensive specialist, or that's an offensive guru, or it's a CEO coach who has to bring in a great offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. That's what we normally talk about in head coaches. Well, we've got the offense. We can put up 40 points a game. We can put up 500 yards a game. Why do you want to have to go replace that? That doesn't make any sense. Elevate Bobby, put an offensive coordinator of his choice under there that will do what he wants done to keep this offense rolling, and go get him a defensive coordinator, a defensive staff, and some defensive players. But keep Bobby. Don't have to go and search for another 500 yards a game, because you, Ty, you might be the only person that can tell me how many other 500-yard offenses are out there
per game. Not many.
Right?
Yeah, not many.
So we're gonna go try to steal one of those 5 above us. That's dumb.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about. Again, I know what automatically people are going to say. Well, what you want is scoring, right? The number one scoring touchdown team, or number one scoring team in the country right now, is North Texas, who's averaging 45 points a game. Oregon's at 44, Tennessee's at 44, Indiana, obviously Signetti just signed that extension at 43.9. Tech is at 43.9. Southern California, I've been overlooking them all year. They're at 42, and then you got South Florida. Right there, there's 2. I'm not saying these are legitimate candidates, but there you got North Texas and you got South Florida in the top 10 in scoring offense. Total offense, you're exactly right. Like, there's not a lot of those either in the 500-yard department. I was looking at that just the other day.
But that doesn't fix your defense. Then you're still looking for a defensive guy.
Exactly.
So why derail Bobby, who's already doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Why derail that? Just bring in the defense you need.
There are 6 teams currently in the country that average 500 yards or more. That's it. Southern California, number 1 at 530. Florida State, which is crazy. This is total offense, and this was updated yesterday. So this is not behind. Florida State is at 523. We know who's there. Texas Tech at 517 at 3rd. Arkansas's in 4th in the country at 513 yards per game. That's number 1 in the SEC, ahead of Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Missouri. So
that's crazy, because it doesn't feel like that, you know?
Well,
Like,
I mean,
I wonder why.
Like,
look, we are a couple of fumbles away from having a one-loss team. I mean, we are. Because I think if you don't fumble against Ole Miss and you don't fumble against Memphis, your momentum is different going into Tennessee and Texas A&M. You lost by 3 with bad momentum. Imagine if you're a one-loss team going into those games. It might be an entirely different ball game.
Yeah.
So, I just don't see why we would even consider derailing that at this point.
Which is crazy, because 2 years ago,
Don't pull up that "Don't read the comments" video.
Don't
do
it. 2 years ago,
I know you got that tuned up.
Travis,
how bad is my sound right now?
You sound fine.
I'm so glad you're here. Though, did he drop again?
No, he's there.
Is there? Okay, Travis. I know you got to go.
What happened?
Travis got more TDs. Travis got more TDs than the Razorbacks, but it's tough technical difficulties.
Yeah.
It's because I'm sitting in the middle of a field in Conway, dude. Leave me alone.
Give us. Hey, I know you're up against it. You got like 8 minutes before you said you got to go. What?
Cool,
Tell me
I
your
hear
thoughts
nothing.
really quick because I've got a spiel I'm going to go on about making the case for Bobby Petrino, similar to like what I did with Gruden. I'm going to do it with Petrino here today. Give us your thoughts really quick, and then you can hop out.
Yeah. All right. So can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
All right. Cool. I think honestly the more jobs open up and the bigger jobs open up, the more likely it's going to be that we're going to keep Petrino, y'all. You know what I mean? Because it makes too much sense. It's the easiest option. He is the offense is humming, dude. So I kind of laid this out. I think maybe in our chat, like, dude, you give, and I don't work there, but I'm just saying, if you're going to give one of these big name coaches and you're going to take a chance, because make no mistake, every coach you hire who's a big name, you're taking a chance, right? He's here proving what he can do already in our division on our schedule, right? Oh yeah, no doubt, dude. Yeah, no doubt. He's here already proving what he can do with our schedule.
Yeah.
Because any of these coaches that come in, we're gonna have to pay him what, $10 million? Pay Bobby $6 million, okay, and then spend $2 million a year on a good DC, the best DC, whatever, and then put the rest in NIL and get rolling. That's the easiest, most logical thing ever. The thing is, Bobby's got to win a couple of these games, like two or three of these games. He needs to beat Auburn, Mississippi State, and either a Texas or an LSU, in my opinion. You got to win the ones you should win, and then win one you shouldn't. That's my thoughts. Like if they are going to lock him in, he's got to win something.
I don't think he's got to win a game he's not supposed to win. I really don't. I know that's out there.
Mississippi State.
I'm sorry.
You think he only has to win Mississippi State?
No, I think he's
picked to win.
Well, Auburn. You're favored against Auburn, are you not?
I didn't think we were.
Auburn opened as a 2.5-point favorite against us.
That'll change. I bet it changes. I bet it flips.
Okay.
I think the FPI favors Arkansas in that too. I would take well, shit. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
I may have let that slip. I don't know. Okay, if you want to say Auburn is really though, let's get crowd temperature on that. Is that a game like shouldn't you be favored to win this game? I realize what their defense is and Arkansas's defense.
I don't know if you should be favored, but I think it's Auburn and Mississippi State are the most gettable games we got left.
They're absolutely
Maybe
that
Texas.
at the very least. Oh, yeah. If you were in Fayetteville,
well, Texas's offense sucks.
It's not good. Yeah, but that defense is so good.
But our defense, so we'll make Arch look like he should have never been dropped out of the Heisman.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah, he's going to. I
don't know, man.
He's going to have that rebound.
It just
game.
depends. But if Auburn opens up and like LSU opens up, holy crap!
Yeah,
y'all might as well just sign them up because y'all don't want those problems. We don't even want Florida problems.
Let me
hire him before one of those teams goes after him.
If he keeps doing this, if they keep putting this offense together, and it's not just total offense, it's scoring offense too. Last year, that wasn't the case. These two things are happening, and they're doing it despite all the challenges that they've had with turning the ball over. Like it's insane.
And post Sam, we've been able to score in the second half.
That's true. Yeah, they absolutely have been able to.
And I haven't felt like I'm so used to when we get down 2 possessions, it's over.
Yeah.
I really have. I think we've been trained that over the last 5 years, 5-6 years. It's like, oh, we're screwed. And I've typed it in the chat several times, and then it's like, oh, we're back in it. That's weird.
Hero Blake says if we go 5-7 beating Texas, sign Bobby. Hero, it's not even going to take that. It's not even going to take that.
I think the more jobs that open, the less games he's got to win.
Yeah, it's kind of my point. That's kind of what I was going to say a little bit.
All right, boys, I got to run, but I'm glad I got to give my 2 cents.
Appreciate you, Travis.
See ya.
Take it easy, man. All right. I'm going to go on my little spiel here. Okay, I've got this typed out. Might be a minute. Just bear with me. Maybe I'll change some minds. Again, this is Bobby Petrino makes too much sense, okay? I am going to try and change your mind if you're against it. But again, I'm not saying he's my number one guy. I'm not saying that I would be fine or happy. I'd be over the moon about it. Maybe I would be. I don't know. I got to give it some more, got to think about it more. I got to see the season unfold. All right, here we go. At this point, other high-profile jobs keep opening up, as Travis mentioned a second ago. Buyouts mean almost nothing today. Napier's out at Florida with a strong possibility that Auburn could open up. Florida State kind of we thought was going to open up with Norvell, and it sounds like they might try and stick it out with him. But you know what could happen if they lose out. Anything could happen at Florida State. We haven't even touched on LSU or some of the other jobs around the country, and of course we know that Franklin's out at Penn State. Bobby's offense has been, simply put, considering all obstacles, including having played the toughest schedule thus far in college football, has been absolutely amazing. The phrase, if only we had just a bad defense instead of an awful, putrid, disgusting joke of a defense, is 1,000% true. They would probably have 2 more wins at the very least on the year and would already have Bobby locked in for the job, assuming this was all happening still after Pittman was fired. Now, as Tim pointed out, and as others have pointed out, maybe you could get Bobby cheap. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you think you're going to sign Bobby for like $3.5-4 million, that ain't happening. His agent will want a contract that's competitive in the open coaching market for sure. However, that could still save you, $2-3 million. Maybe you're not paying him $8 million. Maybe you're paying him $5.5 or $6.5. But still at a decent, I think, somewhat lower rate than most coaches in this current cycle are asking for. Go nab yourself a fantastic defensive coordinator and staff. Now, when we look at the defensive coordinators, the top 5. Okay, if we're talking about saving money by keeping Petrino, keeping that offensive staff in place, paying them what you're paying them, but now you're going to elevate Petrino. Now you're going to save a little bit of money, and you got a little bit more money, hopefully, to spend with the defense. Here's your top 5 highest paid defensive coordinators by comparison. I'm not saying you're going to go get these guys, just trying to tell you like what the top guys are costing. Jim Knowles at Penn State is at 3.1. Pete Golding at Ole Miss, 2.55. Blake Baker, DJ Durkin, who could be looking for a job soon, after the year, and then Wink Martindale at Michigan, Durkin, who's obviously at Auburn, all at $2.5 million. That rounds out your top 5. Okay. What about Bobby's offensive staff? Would this be – so what's happening here, right? Well, Bobby's already got 90% of the staff in place. The only guy that's most likely going to walk is Mateos, the offensive line coach. He'll likely hit the road, and Bobby could find an offensive line coach familiar who maybe he's worked with before with the vernacular or the offensive language who better fits what he wants out of his offensive line for his system, right? What about booster support? I think, yes, some boosters may not want to support Bobby, and they might be vocal about it. We know Frank Fletcher, and the word around town is several other big boosters would absolutely support his hiring. Okay, another bonus. Players returning. KJ Jackson is believed to be the next great Arkansas quarterback in waiting. He's already on campus. He's had 2 years baking in the Bobby Petrino offensive oven, along with several other younger players. Continuity still matters. Understanding the system in which you play in still matters. And then you also avoid, by hiring Bobby, the most annoying thing you hear about when a new coach comes in, the always feared quote unquote complete reset button. Like I mentioned a second ago, you have your offensive staff mostly in place. The replacements most likely happening on the with the offensive line and the defensive staff, and possibly Scott Fountain gets the boot. I mean, I'm just saying right there, feels, oh my God, there's a winning solution if I've ever heard one. However, I will urge some caution. Petrino does have a habit of going into Georgia, and maybe you keep Fountain around, or maybe he keeps Fountain around for that reason. God only hopes he doesn't. And last but not least, Bobby and the reliable recruiting pipelines. Bobby certainly did recruit all over the map, but always managed to land maybe 2, 3, 4 kids out of traditional pipelines like the Dallas-Fort Worth area or just Texas in general. He always had about 2 to 3 kids committed from Louisiana. You guys know how I feel about that. Love it. Don't get it twisted. He did recruit Florida and Georgia I think his mindset was, I'm going to go take the best offensive players or whatever, both sides of the ball, wherever I can get them from. But he still kept in touch with those traditional Arkansas football pipelines. That is my reasoning why Petrino, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. Bobby Petrino will be the next Arkansas Razorback head coach. Like Travis pointed out, Tim pointed it out. Why would you walk away from this? Why would you want to go through all of these changes and walk away from this kind of offense and walk away from a guy in KJ Jackson who a lot of people are buzzing about? Why would you want to walk away from that? Again, I'm thinking like a booster or a board of trustees member or whoever's a part of the searching committee, right? And Hunter Yurachek. Why would you want to walk away from all that? And the more these jobs open up, you've already got CBS laughing at you. It's like, look, you guys aren't paying people. Why would anyone want to go? Why would anyone want to coach there? And I'm not saying they're right. There's other voices out there saying opposite. Like, look, Arkansas is going to have money. They're nestled right in the middle of Northwest Arkansas, and they're going to get a guy they believe in who they will finance. Just look at what's happening with Coach Cal, right? Again, apples and oranges. I get it. It just feels like it's happening. And I kind of been hinting at this for like 3 weeks. Like the clouds are parting. Here we are. And it's becoming more and more clear. Now, is there a possibility where he's just completely out of the running? Absolutely. If they get stomped by Auburn, or hell, if they lose Auburn, in my opinion, and they lose to Mississippi State, and he doesn't win a single game, he's out. I don't think they'll take him. I don't. Maybe if the offense, and by the way, the offense is going to fall. Okay, I want to make that perfectly clear too, because they're about to play the best part of their schedule with the way better defenses compared to what they've been playing. Tennessee's defense, I don't even know what to say about it. It's okay, but it's not great. A&M the same way, right? Notre Dame doesn't have a very good defense, and yet your offense just fell on its face, and the whole team did really, but they really let go of the rope. And then of course you can talk about Arkansas State and Alabama A&M. And Memphis too. Like, you're able to have success against Memphis. I haven't kept up with Memphis's defense since, but you're about to play the toughest part of your schedule. These numbers are going to fall. And I mean, defensive part of the schedule. Numbers will fall, Tim, but I still think it's going to be a very good offense when the dust settles. I think they get a couple of wins, and I don't think anyone curb stomps them. Maybe Mizzou. I don't know. But, do you think I successfully maybe changed somebody's mind? I feel like maybe one.
Maybe. I mean, I was already on this page, so
I know you were.
but I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sold on the idea that the offense is going to fall off.
You're not?
Because I know that we play Ole Miss and we trashed their defense, and we played Notre Dame, and their defense played better than they probably should have, and we played Tennessee and we trashed their defense and talked about how bad their defense was, and then we played Texas A&M, and maybe their defense was bad, or maybe the offense is that good. What if the offense is that good, Ty? What if the offense is good enough that we're going to roll up the yards and the points on Texas, Auburn, LSU, Missouri? What if we're going to do that? And it really does just come down to the defense. If he continues to run at even really 435 to 500 yards a game through the back half of the schedule, I mean, then the offense really just is that good.
Well, let's put it in context. They've got Texas left, who's currently giving up just 11 points a game. They are second in total offense allowed behind Oklahoma. LSU's right behind them. Missouri's right behind them. Auburn is in 6th place, just behind Alabama. And then you got Mississippi State, who's in the bottom half, but they're still better than A&M, just according to total yardage.
Sure. But I'm just saying, what if the offense just continues to click? What if he continues to call the plays? If we can move the ball on these defenses, are the offenses good enough to keep up with us?
Well,
I know our high school defense. I know that we went out and picked up Decatur High School defense to play defense for us. Nothing against Decatur, but it's not a college defense. But what if the offense continues to roll and says, you know what, we move the ball on the number 4 team in the nation. We move the ball on the number 11 team in the nation. We continue to move the ball against the best teams. We just can't play defense for shit. What if we continue to move the ball?
Then I mean, this offense is.
Well, I say that to say, if he doesn't even win a game, but he continues to move the ball at 500 yards per game through the rest of this season, then what?
I guess it depends on what you're doing scoring wise. If it's you just keep losing these really close games by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. I don't know. Then that's going to be a really hard sell. I'll tell you what though might tip the scale no matter what happens. And apparently, I'm hearing this more and more from people who went to the game. We haven't heard a crowd like that at home in a while against Texas A&M. We haven't heard a crowd like that in a while. The fans are showing up. They're loud. They're in it, and that might tip the scale no matter what happens. And that could be the case. I don't know. I still think you got to win. Man, I feel like you got to win too.
But I feel like we're going to. Like, I think we'll beat Auburn and Mississippi State. I really believe we'll beat Texas. So I'll just put that out there now. I really believe we'll beat Texas. Bad defense and all, I think we're going to move the ball. I believe the offense is that good. And I know you want to pull that don't read the comments video up so bad you can't stand it. But you know, I'll be the first to step up and say, I said, prove that you want to stay here. Prove that you want to be the coach. Well, he's done it. So he won me over. True to my word. I said 2 years ago, I don't think he'll last one season. He's going to be looking for a head coaching job. He's still here and he's proved it. So I'm willing to admit I was wrong. Change my mind. He did it. So hire the guy. I think the offense is going to click through the back half of the season. I think we're going to find out that the offense is better and make some of these defenses look mediocre when they're actually good. Like Texas A&M might actually have a decent defense, and we made it look mediocre.
That's possible.
I didn't say they were great. I said
right. I hear you.
They might be better than we made them look.
Well, listen, Arkansas doubled up their point average. They doubled up their point average. A&M only gives up like 22 points a game or something. And what did Arkansas score? I mean, so maybe again, and maybe garbage is too harsh of a word when I said that Saturday night. I don't know. I've watched them play a little bit against a couple different teams and thought their defense was. There were times it's like, all right, no, this is a pretty good defense, and then you know you kind of see what happened against Notre Dame and how easily Notre Dame was able to have success against them and Arkansas too. I hope you're right, and I hope that they don't fall off, obviously, because it gives you a chance at winning. Something else I didn't point out when I went on my, again, quote unquote spiel. It is really nice that he not only has he been a coordinator here for it's season and a half, he's back in rhythm, being in control of this team.
Yeah.
So there again, it goes back to what I said about there not being a full reset. Like you've got the guy here. You know, I think he's going to be the guy. I do. I think he's going to be the guy. And I think when you've got people in the national media from CBS Sports talking that shit like they were against Arkansas, I think they're wrong. But I see their point about how they didn't support Pittman, and that might scare some coaches off. I brought that up back several like a month ago or so. I said it's not a good sign when, because your head coach struggles a little bit, all of a sudden you pull funding, or a booster. You're like, I'm not that invested. I'm going to just move on and not donate any money. That's not a good look, even though it's, nobody's fault, but
it's not. But I think that's part of the culture that was Sam Pittman. Like he always seemed aloof and lackadaisical about the job. And I don't think you're going to get that same thing from Bobby. So if you have a couple losses, I don't think Bobby makes people feel like, well, he's done giving up on the season. He's going to have his cold beer. And I don't think Bobby makes people feel that way. Like they know he's going to be in players' faces. I think people thought, well, boosters thought, well, it's Sam Pittman. So it's just another year of he's already given up and he's already thinking about Lake Hamilton.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be different. A loss isn't going to suddenly have the boosters running scared in this case.
They're wanting me to pull up this video. I don't have the video of him saying it, but he did say it on Don't Read the Comments podcast. He was all over.
Podcast called Don't Read the Comments. You can find it on Spotify. It has like a Ghostbuster type symbol, and it says Don't Read the Comments in it. And we had a whole episode when they announced hiring Bobby as offensive coordinator, and I trashed the idea. You guys can go find it on Spotify. It's out there.
I always felt like he was going to be here for a minimum of 2 years. I cannot believe we're really having this conversation.
It's hilarious because I felt like he's going to be here a maximum of 2 years.
Yeah. I can't believe he very well, and I think he will be the next head coach at Arkansas. And I never saw this coming. I didn't see him coming back to be OC. I thought the powers that be and how many people I've heard that he rubbed the wrong way and pissed off. I just didn't think there was any chance he was going to come back here. And then I underestimated, what being desperate looks like. And they were absolutely desperate in bringing him back next year. And it worked out. I mean, it really did. Russ Vegas says, Ty, thanks for what you do. My favorite Arkansas podcast group. Hey, man, I appreciate that, Russ. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Mr. Bloodline says, at least Tim seen the error of his ways. Tim rides a Harley now. Big Suey.
If I could, I probably would right now.
Again, I don't know. I don't know long term what Petrino's capable of, but I think the one thing that we all, and I know there's going to be a lot of he was garbage at, his last year at Louisville, and look what he didn't do at Missouri State, and that's all fair. I mean, it's all, I'm not going to say they're wrong. However, this is a new era of college football, and the turnaround isn't as severe as it once was because of the transfer portal, because of the NIL.
Steven has it completely right. Tim wasn't technically wrong.
2 years ago, and Bobby Petrino's looking for a head coaching job. he's just looking for it here.
I put the link because I'm a good sport. I put the link in the private chat. If you want to share it, it's there.
Yeah, I'll do it towards the end.
Yeah, don't do it while people will jump off of here. Just
right. Ty, if we keep Bobby, who do you like for defense coordinator? Good Lord. I'm just not there yet, Logan. I
haven't either.
I do like Durkin, and if you could, and I don't think that's how it's going to play out. Durkin's he's going to be offered a good gig. I would like DJ Durkin. That would probably be if Hugh Freeze is fired, and they're all, their assistants are scattered to the wind. If I could get Durkin in here with his staff that he has at Auburn, that would probably be my first call. Now, I know people have brought up Muschamp. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
Wink Martindale at Michigan, but you're not going to get him. You're not going to end up with a Jim Knowles. That would be incredible if you could get Jim Knowles here from Penn State, but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't know yet. Again, we're still trying to figure out who the next head coach is going to be, but I think Tim and Travis and I are on the same page. I think a lot of you are. Pittman or Bobby Petrino will be the next head coach. I think that's going to happen. The other argument to this that I find interesting is why aren't if he's such a hot name, why aren't other schools looking at him to be a head coach? And
he comes with a lot of baggage.
Yeah. My counter would be because he so badly wants to be at Arkansas. And I think those other schools know if Arkansas wants him, he is theirs. I think that's a lot to do. And like you said, too, the baggage, I agree with. I completely agree. Ty, I agree with everything you say and how smart and brilliant you are. I feel like you
feel like a donut right now, don't you? How blazed just got.
I don't know if Mason's trying to be funny, but I do appreciate that.
I just went through the line at Krispy Kreme with that glaze.
Yeah. I was going to say, I've never been called brilliant before in my life. So I'm going to have to tell my wife that one if she's not already watching. I'm going to be like, you can't disagree with me ever again. I was called brilliant in our Monday night show, so you can't disagree with me. I'll lose that battle anyways. Philip says Wink Martindale is my favorite coach name. He was a great game show host. John Oliver says fixing, and this is a legendary status member right here. This is a Tusk Talk with Ty Discord member and a Patreon, legendary Patreon member. Fixing Arkansas fixes his reputation going into retirement and his legacy.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't either. I think that's why he wants to be here. I mean, whether or not he gets the job, I think that's one of the reasons why he wants to be here and win here. And I do think he wants to win so badly. Although his post game against A&M, he kind of had a smile on his face. I was a little bit like, does he feel it, like that this team is getting better? Like, is he feeling it? Is that what that is? Like, he kind of had a smirk on his face. He looked like he was feeling it. I'm sold, neck brace, Harley, and all. Bobby's the guy, says Dylan. Hey, what about Tailon Green? Tailon Green has an insane trajectory, and it's kind of why it's insane because it's never happened before at Arkansas. Now, this is fascinating. His first 7 games last year, he completed 58% of his throws, 128 of 220, 1,700 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 picks, passing touchdowns. 87 carries for 316 yards, which is just 3.6 yards per carry with 4 rushing touchdowns. This year, Tailon Green is completing 62% of his throws, 1,900 yards through the air, 17 touchdowns. He had just 14 all last year passing?
15, I think.
Was it 15?
I'm looking at ESPN, but you can't always trust it.
Yeah, it's true. 17 touchdowns and 5 picks. 83 carries for almost 600 yards at 589, averaging 7.1 yards per carry, and 5 rushing touchdowns. This man is already over 2,000 yards total offense, well above it. He is the number 1 total offensive player in the country, and that's considering who you've already played. That is insane. And right now, as it stands, to get to 4,000 total yards, which, again, no one else has ever done this in Arkansas's history. I think Mallett got the closest at 3,800 yards. And again, this is total offense, not just passing or whatever. This is passing and rushing, total offense. To get to 4,000, he needs 1,500 yards. And he'd be the only player in school history to do this. And this is what we were talking about. Year 2 under Petrino, this is what he can do. He makes guys better. You're going to tell me he couldn't convince some kid out of the portal that, hey, man, we turned this kid from Boise State, who's a 3-star, kind of a no-name out of high school, no disrespect, Tailon Green, into one of the best, most underrated players in all of college football. And we did it. And to be honest with you, last year he was pretty good. This year he's like really good. He's a freak of an athlete. I don't know about his draft pick. I keep trying to see if anyone sneaks him into the top 3. And I think there was one site I found that did like him as someone who they would take at least on day 2 in the 26 draft. But, of course, if he goes to the combine and that dude drops a Matt Jones type 40, 4.37 laser 40, of course, Matt, then what did he jump, a 40-inch vertical or something? And he was 240 something pounds and he ran a 4.37 laser. I mean, that's insane. But Tailon Green is in that area. Now, of course, Matt would go on to be a receiver, not a quarterback in the NFL. But, this is crazy. And I don't know that I'm not gonna sit here and say that I didn't see this coming, because I did feel like, he's gonna put up yards. This is what he does. The downside is he's got like 8 total turnovers, and that's not a good number. 3 of those are fumbles, and then the 5 were picks. What are you seeing out of him, Tim? Do you think? And that is actually, and I forgot to mention this, as I always do at the beginning of the show, that was the actual question of the post live question was, will Tailon Green surpass 4,000 total yards of offense? And that is the post-live question for you guys. in Discord that want that XP. Tim, give me your thoughts on Green's play this year.
I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag, to be honest. The stats are there for sure, but the turnovers that he has had personally have been detrimental turnovers, not little ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been detrimental. So you still early on saw him make some really poor reads. Not even seeing defenders. He was throwing to defenders wide open like he didn't even see them. Obviously the game this week, Texas A&M was a much improved performance, and maybe that's the way it'll be the rest of the season, I hope. But every once in a while, and Bobby pointed it out on that Sunday post game or Saturday post game that you played earlier, like he still doesn't always make the right call. Like running backwards for 10 yards, maybe I'll be able to outrun these guys and get around the corner when he should be throwing it out of bounds.
Yes.
He still makes some bad choices there that cost the team severely. But I mean, obviously the stats play out that he is much improved. There's definite improvement. He's reading he's making his reads better. He's making his pre-snap adjustments better. There's just some little things he's still got to clean up. I wish he had another year, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. There's people in chat who think that, you know what? No, he's going to be a first rounder this year.
He won't be a first rounder.
I just have a hard time seeing that right now. I mean, if he can do what he's doing right now, limit the mistakes, get better, when the game's on the line, not take sacks for 15 freaking yards, make better reads when they're running the read op, then maybe. He is
first round, maybe.
Again, if he does all that, and I don't think he will, because again, he's about to play like Auburn. Golly, watch Auburn. They have so much speed in their front seven. Oh my God. It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. LSU's defense is incredible. It's just too bad their offense is just a shit show. Their offense is almost like what our defense is by comparison. You can say the same thing about Auburn and Texas, but yeah, it's a tall order for him to get in the first round. It's a very tall order. I wouldn't put him there right now. And if the Rams are looking for a quarterback, by the way, and they keep getting, I keep reading the freaking boards and they're talking about sellers, and I'm just, you've got to be kidding me. You guys do not want him at LA. I'm sorry, I don't. But anyways, I wouldn't take Tailon Green because I don't think he would. That's more because I don't think he'd fit what McVay does. But then again, maybe he does. But I wouldn't take him.
I mean, so, if he has a great combine, maybe second or third round. I don't think he moves up into the first round.
I don't either. I don't think he will.
Way to that.
I don't either because again,
he needs to work on.
Well, he does, but again, if he can keep doing what he's doing, and he does hit that 4,000 yard mark,
it's a big deal for sure.
That could change my opinion, but I and I don't know about the combine because typically the combine, a lot of these scouts have kind of already made up their mind, or these front offices. Like combine can help you, it certainly can, but there's so many players. It's all about the film, right? And he does have things. You know what? One of the things he's got to work on, his under pressure numbers are horrible. They are really bad. I mean, his completion against A&M was let me pull that up. His under pressure, by the way, he only worked with a 52% clean pocket. That's not good. That's really bad, actually. Under pressure, he completed 27% of his throws.
Yeah.
That's what's going to keep him out of the first round for sure. If he doesn't clean that up, he panics under pressure.
And do you feel like maybe he has the Matt Jones NFL conversation?
Oh, getting moved to wideout?
You're tall, you're 240 pounds, and you're fast, and we'd put you at wideout before we would put the ball in your hands as a quarterback.
Matt did play some wide receiver in high school. I don't know if Tailon did or not. And I don't think he did at Boise.
I just wonder if that happens because he's not a great decision maker. No different than Matt Jones, no different really than Tim Tebow. I know people are going to freak out in chat because I said that, but Tim Tebow was never really a good quarterback, but that's all he was willing to do. But teams told him, if you were willing to move to tight end, we'd put you there.
Well, I mean, Felipe Franks.
He
doesn't have any tight end experience to my knowledge, and Atlanta moved him to tight end.
Yeah. And he was willing to do it. The question is, do you think Tailon is more I want to be a quarterback or I want to be a pro?
Yeah.
So, because he's got a lot, I think, to clean up to make it into the pros.
I don't know that I agree with this necessarily. I want to be clear. Like, typically your first round guys are you know who they are because you have film. Film is what matters most. Yeah, there are guys that get drafted. Listen, the Oakland Raiders, Heartbroken Hog, I don't know how old you are. I've paid attention to this stuff for a while. The Oakland Raiders were simply drafting guys based off their combine, based off their 40 time at the combine. So, like, yeah, there are teams that do that, and there are sure. But usually a serious team, and the Rams are a really good example of this, they know who they're drafting before the combine. Like, they have an idea. McVay has an idea. That defensive staff has an idea. I think the Rams have one of the best GMs in all of sports, for my opinion. They just keep rebuilding to think they're this good up front on the defense without Aaron Donald. It's just insane. But you have a pretty good idea. And by the way, some of those guys didn't do so hot at the NFL Combine. I'm not saying you're wrong. Sure, there are guys that get drafted all the time based on their combine. Fair. But I'm saying that what usually matters the most is it's footage, it's film. It's absolutely film.
And that's why I even bring up the question, because you can see clearly that he has a lot to clean up and work on as a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know that he would be a great route runner, but a lot of times they'll look at a guy who could fit the mold of a wide receiver and go, we can teach him to run routes.
Yeah. Yeah. He would be a project in the way that
240 or whatever, but you can teach route running.
Well, if you remember too, Matt did line up at receiver at Arkansas a few times.
Mm-hmm.
That still blew my mind. Matt was a freak. There's just no way around it. Matt Jones was an absolute freak. Just insane. Yeah, Al, exactly. Al was notorious. That is exactly right. Al Davis was notorious for that. He would draft, I forgot the receiver's name, the 6'4", 190-pound receiver that ran like a 4.3 340. And did it work out? No. So there's usually a method to the madness. Stephen Croft says, if Arkansas passes on Bobby and Auburn and Ole Miss comes up, the powers that be might regress passing on him.
I agree.
It's exactly why.
If Kiffin goes to Florida and Bobby goes to Ole Miss and pulls a Houston nut, oh my God.
Don't say that.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying that could be a nightmare.
I don't think that would happen. I think Ole Miss think extremely high of themselves now. And Petrino, to them, again, I guess it depends on how the year unfolds. But to them, I think they would want to try and go after like a Franklin or a big name, maybe Dan Mullen, right? Because he's 0.0 interested in coming to Arkansas. Clown.
After being the Mississippi State coach, could he let himself be the Ole Miss coach?
I think so. Oh my God, though, that would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Do you want to talk about making the Egg Bowl worth watching?
Oh my God, I'd watch. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
I don't usually give a damn about the Egg Bowl. Hell, if they brought Dan Mullen, that would be insane.
No, exactly.
Speaking of fantastic offensive players, what about Mike Washington?
Yes, sir.
I've been bragging on this dude. I got to see him a little bit day one in spring camp, not a whole lot. Media members that were there were talking to me like, oh my God, this dude is crazy good. Like he's fast. He's really fast. Kept saying, I think they got an issue here. They got a pretty damn good player here in Mike Washington, and there might be an issue between him and Braylon Russell, who's going to get the most carries. And we know Russell's kind of got a tendency, I'll just say I'll be shocked. I said it last year. I'd be shocked if he'd come back for his sophomore year, and he did. I might be shocked if he comes back his junior year. But Mike, of course, Washington will be moved on by then. But he's 1,000% living up to the hype. He is 1,000% living up to it. And everyone that questioned it, I don't know where they went. They disappeared, but he has been incredible. He's 14th in the country in rushing yards. Keep in mind, he only carried the ball 9 times against Alabama A&M and Arkansas State. He only carried the ball 13 times against Ole Miss, 15 versus Memphis, 15 versus Notre Dame. And then we start seeing those carries. They're starting to, we already said 15. He goes to 19 carries against Tennessee and 16 versus A&M. Washington is second in the SEC behind only Hardy, running back at Mizzou. His numbers will likely go down moving forward, like I mentioned about the total offense a minute ago, but still will be an issue for opposing front seven on defense, the opposing front sevens. Washington has been incredible, and we're not talking enough about him. And, again, I love that he's lived up to the hype because I don't know how many people were telling me, I don't think he's that. Nah, I think he's nothing. Or he's going to be number 2 behind Russell. And I said, I don't know. I think he's going to take over, and he has. And it's been really fun to watch. I hope he can keep it going because he's going to be key to him moving forward. He's going to be a huge piece moving forward.
Well, the RPO between him and Tailon Green. Tailon also is top 6 rusher in the SEC. We have 2 of the top 10. We're the only team with 2 in the top 10. And the RPO between them is going to it's going to be key to the rest of the season for sure.
Yeah.
So
John Oliver says Mike Washington is the best fallback option I can remember. We won that decision. There's Kerper talking about joining Discord. Yeah, you guys need to join Discord. Seriously, it's a lot of fun in the Tusk Talk Discord. If here we go. Now I was waiting on one of these. Dakin.
I'm done with it.
Dakin Manos. If we hire Bobby, I'm done with it. Shrug.
Oh my
God. It's
God.
not 2011. Wake up.
Wake up to 500 yards a game. Wake up to 500 yards a game. Find me 10 other teams doing that. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Oh wait, you can't. Bobby is not the problem here. Bobby is not the problem here. I don't know how many times you have to say it. Bobby's not the problem. The defense is 100% of the problem. Yes, we lost because of some fumbles, but Bobby is not the problem here.
37 points a game. And that's after playing just – listen, I'm going to say I might have been wrong when I said that 2011 Bobby's not walking through the doors. And I was saying that in regards to the offense when they were hiring him for the coordinator spot. I said 2011 Bobby's not walking through the doors. Right now, this is absolutely very similar to what he was doing in 2010, 2011. If I remember right, 2010 they had a 6,000 total yard of offense. That might be wrong. It might have been 11, but I'm pretty sure it's 2010. They either had 6,000 yards or they were damn close. They've only ever done it 3 times in school history, and they could do it this year. I mean, this is incredible. Again, this is great. Now, Tim and I disagree on whether or not they're going to be able to keep doing this. I don't think they're going to drop a whole hell of a lot, but I do think they're going to drop in scoring and total offense because, again, these defenses are about to be pretty severe. But
I just say if it only drops to around 435, that's still a hell of an offense.
Yeah. It would have to be a complete reversal for me to be like, all right, we were wrong. It had to be a complete reversal. They're going to have to drop down to 25 points a game, which I guess is possible, but that'd be 12 points a game different, between here and, by the time you play Missouri. You'd have to drop quite a bit in yardage. This has just been, it's been absolutely incredible. Mr. Kick says, I don't want Mullen anyway. He got beat by Boise State. So his 0.0 interest is fine with me. Scrolling down here.
I just feel
okay.
Like his 0% interest is mutual. It's not for you, but it is for me and a lot of other people.
I said if he continues to fall or if he loses some games and it's absolutely a game by game basis. I mean, that's fair for any coach, right? I mean, outside of some of the coordinators, it's a game by game basis. If you suck and you start losing games, and you're off my list. Is that fair? And is that the right way to conduct your search? Probably not. But I wouldn't say I'm fully off his boat yet. I'm not, but yeah, for sure. If he loses more games, Dak,
I'm off his boat because of how disrespectful that was. You should hire Gus Malzahn. What?
Oh,
I'm sorry. What? You should keep your mouth shut and go try to win the game. Oh wait, you lost. That was karma, by the way.
When was his last good head coaching position? Says Dakin. He wants to know.
Who?
Petrino.
Bobby?
He did have a Heisman at Louisville.
Yeah.
How many of those have we had?
Huh.
I mean, again, Dakin, this is more about, I would argue that this is more about what you're up against and who you going to get, right? What you're up against, what are the optics of this job? And is it as attractive? I still think it's a top 3 job right now that's available, but that's going to change. It's going to change most likely. If Auburn fires Hugh Freeze, I think Auburn's a better job. I just do. I realize they haven't, lit the world on fire and everything, but look where they're located. They are centrally located in recruiting heaven. And Hugh Freeze has done a pretty good job in both the transfer department and the recruiting department, if I recall correctly. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That job's going to be a better job. Florida is a better job. Penn State is a better job. If LSU opens up, which is possible, it's a better job. So that's what this is about. The more realistic, the more these jobs open up, you start having to look around, and here you've got a guy, as Tim has pointed out, you've got an ace up your sleeve here, as the other Mike corrected me from the other day when I couldn't figure out the right phrasing for that. The ace up your sleeve is you've got him, or you've got him in your back pocket. That's not a bad option. Again, not my number one. He's never been my number one. Hell, he's never been in my top 3. But it's just looking more and more like a realistic situation. And that's where we're at. Now, we don't know. Listen, it could be entirely possible, by the way, that I'm wrong, that Tim's wrong, that Travis is wrong, and the people who think that it's his job to lose, they might be on the phone with Franklin right now, and he might be the next head coach. Hell, I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. But at the moment, the optics tell me that Petrino, it feels like it is his job to lose. And it just feels like the clouds are parting, and we can see clearly now the rain is gone. And all of a sudden there's Bobby Petrino. His face is the sunlight. It's the sun. There it is. Bobby's the guy. And that could be it. And who knows, man? Maybe he comes in and he lights it up and it is 2011 all over again. You don't know. Dakin, hell, apparently I don't know either. Because I didn't think he'd be able to do what he's been doing. King Command says moral victories. What are you talking about? I don't know what that. What are you referencing? Command, are you referencing like Petrino as a head coach so far? Are you saying that that's what that is?
I think we settled last week. Hiring Bobby Petrino as head coach is actually an immoral victory. Just consider the last time he was here.
Yeah,
there's nothing moral about it, but we want to win.
There's nothing moral about it. King Command says we are early to the coaching carousel and have an actual opportunity at a home run hire. Y'all settle like drunk dudes settle at last call.
The problem is the carousel keeps getting bigger, and the teams that are getting on that carousel are much better. So when you become the ugliest kid at the prom, then you get. I mean, I'm just saying.
You talking about me?
No, I'm just talking about. I'm talking about our potential for coaches.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, when you're the ugliest kid at the prom, you're not going and getting Nick Saban. So,
and that is, listen. That is where who you gonna get? That's where that came from. That's where that came from. Like we think we're the belle of the ball sometimes, and it's like you're really not. I'm not saying it's a bad job. It's a good job. The pressure is not there to have to come in here and win 10, 11 games. It's not there. You've got arguably top 3, top 4 facilities in the SEC. Families love Northwest Arkansas. It is a great place to raise a family, and we know that because there's coaches that, you know what, their kids are going to Fayetteville High and they're taking other jobs. Their kids are still at Fayetteville High, or they're going to Shiloh. There's a real good, and believe it or not, there are a lot of very religious coaches, and they like the kind of religious background that's in the NWA. You think of Springdale Baptist, you think of University Baptist in Fayetteville, right off Dixon Street. They've got all that stuff. They've got really everything that an SEC coach would probably want, except the recruiting in the state. It's not great. You don't put out, you're lucky to put out 4 stars in a class, and you don't put out very many. We know the talent in the state has just not been superb, and it's never been, even all the way back when I played ball. There's never been great talent in the state at a high level. Not to say that there's not great talent. I mean, obviously Darren McFadden, Peyton Hillis, the list goes on, Matt Jones. But I mean, like, in an abundance, we don't have a lot of that. I mean, we just don't. And so that's one of the things that have kept you out. Barry Switzer said it on Bo Mattingly's show, 14 years ago, why you didn't take the job. He said that it's in the middle of nowhere. Fayetteville's beautiful, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And that's one of the turnoffs about the job. And it still is, even with this new era of NIL in the portal. There's things that we just have to realize. It's really difficult. Now, again, also money talks. Again, Cal ended up at Arkansas. Of course, that had a lot to do with John Tyson. Had everything to do with John Tyson. Let me get through here. Okay, well, Dakin's saying it could work out. I'm not a fortune teller, but just tired of living in the past. Yeah, I get that, and that's fair. It's fair. I'm not going to, again, I don't know. Tim, where would you put Bobby on your list?
Right now, number one. Right now, he's number one. He didn't start out at number one. He started, but I think I said 2 weeks ago, that I would want to keep him in the upper end of it. If we struck out once or twice, I just want to go for Bobby and not mess around with 5 or 6 or 7 coaches trying to figure it out. If we get rejected a couple of times, Bobby's the guy. For me now, it has nothing to do with Mullen. It has everything to do with performance. We're losing by 3 to top 15 teams, top 5 teams. The offense is churning. The defense is trying, even though they're just bad, but you're not seeing them give up on defense.
Yeah.
And that's a complete difference from what you saw from Sam, where the defense just gave up. If we got down, okay, coach, just take me out. I suck. So sorry.
Yeah.
It's different. And I think that has everything to do with Bobby taking over. And I told you before, the pragmatic way he approached the players and said, look, I don't care if you want to be here or not. Go make game film, go make money somewhere else if you don't want to be here. But let's try to make film for you to do that. Don't come out here and slouch around and think you're just going to leave. Go do something big and try to leave.
Yeah.
I think that has everything to do with the way that he talks to the players, and he gets crapped on for it. I did it myself. The link will be there at the end of this podcast, and you can go watch me crap all over Bobby Petrino. But at the end of the day, he's getting stuff done, and he's at the top of my list at this point.
King Command says about Bobby, all he's done so far is almost win. Same shit we had with Sam.
No, it is not. It's not remotely the same.
I would argue that is not this entire roster, even though these are players that he wanted. Think about when we talk about what Hunter Yurchek said about not being able to fund Sam Pittman, and you heard the CBS Sports guy at the beginning of the show talk about, why would Franklin want that job?
Mm-hmm.
This is the best money that Sam Pittman could buy. This entire roster. I don't know that I buy the 16 or 16.5 million that they spent on this roster. I don't know that I buy it. And even if it is, there's other rosters that are worth more by several million. But this is the best money that Pittman's name could buy, and that's what Bobby Petrino's working with. These are not, at the end of the day, I'm not obviously like Omega Blake, who, by the way, has been also another guy we could highlight. He's like top 3 or top 5 in both total receptions and receiving yards in both those categories in the SEC. But outside of that, a lot of these guys that got out of the portal are not big time target players. You got an abundance of 3-star kind of vanilla players, but you didn't end up with a bunch of 4-star, high caliber, highly sought after players out of the portal. That's what he's working with. And you could argue that, well, isn't that a reflection of Petrino? And I would say it's a reflection of the money, because at the end of the day, damn it, these kids, they want their NIL money. They want to get paid. And yeah, they want to be in a system that's going to propel them. And I think Omega Blake might be getting drafted if he keeps playing like this. We'll have to wait and see about Rohan Jones, who's also a really good athlete for a tight end, but numbers aren't really backing him up right now. But
his averages.
His averages, yeah, but his total like receptions, I think, are like he's only averaging like 2 catches a game or something.
I think you can only hold a guy at fault so much for not being targeted.
Yeah,
I think things like his average yards and his yards after catch matter in a position like that, because he's not getting the targets, but when he does, man, he makes things happen on the field.
This is not loser mentality. Again, I don't know if this is targeted at us or chat.
It is. I remember when that got put in here. It's targeted us for saying these other jobs are better jobs, and
it's the reality, man.
I mean, it is.
It's the reality of the situation. It's real easy to have hog blinders on and we're the best. No, you're not the best. Florida's a better job again.
And the truth be told, some of these teams that aren't firing their coaches are being targeted. Lane Kiffin's being targeted by Florida. We know that. Actually, Shane Beamer is being targeted by Virginia Tech, I read today. So South Carolina could open up.
Oh yeah, Beamer. Yeah.
I mean, that's
God, I hate that guy.
And I don't think South Carolina is better than Arkansas necessarily, but it's just another SEC job opening.
This is driving me crazy. King, are you serious? This can't be a serious argument by you. Come on, dude. You're legendary status. You're a legendary status member. You really want to compare basketball and football?
We're a basketball school.
I mean, national title and damn near back-to-back title winners in 94, 95. What was Arkansas football doing back then? Oh, I don't know. Losing shit games with Danny Ford.
Dust, yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. You're smarter than that. You're legendary status in Patreon. You got to be better than that. And Musselman brought Arkansas back from the dead.
Yeah,
you're talking about the basketball program. Like, it's just not even close, man. Can it be? That's where I differ with a lot of people. Can it be better? Can it be looked at similar to some of the other schools in this conference? Yes, it can. It absolutely can, but it's about sustaining that success. That's always been a challenge for this program.
Well, you've also got the what might have been. Bobby was 10-2 twice.
Oh, well, 11
twice, and then 11 and 2.
I think it was 11-2 his last year here when he had Wilson.
And so 10-3, 11-2.
Yeah.
And then an unfortunate motorcycle incident and poor choices. Otherwise, what are we?
Yeah.
I mean, is that our sustained football program that elevates us into the there's a lot of what might have been there.
Yeah. Robert Williams, hey, Ty, Tim, who would y'all like to see as the defensive coordinator? Yeah, we already kind of addressed that earlier. It's a little early. We'll get there, as this unfolds. And I want to be clear, because we got one more topic and then we're going to wrap the show up. I want to be clear. Petrino's not my favorite guy for the job. And he could still, even though I think he's going to be the guy, if he gets blown out, if he doesn't win a single game, we might be having a different conversation. However, I'm of the mind that he's going to win. He's going to win a couple games, and they're going to, they might upset somebody. This offense, like, they're hanging around. They're finally scoring in the second half. If they could play clean football, minimize the mistakes on offense. And we're going to get into the next part here in a minute about the defense and some of the things they got to fix. But, they're capable of upsetting somebody. And not only that, they're capable of winning just more than 1 or 2 games. They're absolutely capable of doing that. But they got to get some things fixed on defense. And obviously we know that's a very big uphill climb. What are y'all's expectations if we hire Bobby? I think realistic expectations would be something very similar to the 18-15 at Missouri State.
I think it's better than that.
Well, it's got to be. I mean, if he's clearly your number one guy, I would think you would. I would think you'd be way above that.
I'd like to see 8 or 9 wins. And I think he's capable of that. We would be on the verge of that without a couple fumbles. And with a defense, with any kind of defense. If we went to Bentonville High School and used their defense, we would probably have 4 wins this season already going into the back half of the schedule. We could trade in all of our defense for Bentonville High School's defense and be just fine.
Are they that good? Is Bentonville that good on defense?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were making a point about their defense.
I was making a point about Arkansas defense. I have every confidence that the Bentonville defense is coached better than the Arkansas defense right now. They would put up a better fight than what we're getting today.
I'll tell you what my expectations would be, because at Missouri State he was in conference play. He was really good. He was 2-1 in conference play. I think I would take that. Yeah. However, overall, yeah, they were not very good. His last year there, they went. Of course, he got. Did he finish out his 2022 season? I don't know. I think he did, but he ended up going 5-6 his last year there. Remember, he came to Fayetteville and damn near beat Arkansas. Then he went on to lose, like, I think every game after that. He doesn't have a good postseason record either since leaving Arkansas, or while being fired from Arkansas. He does not have a good postseason
John
record.
Oliver said something earlier that he ended up in the FCS playoffs or something.
Yeah, the Division I. I mean, he got eliminated in first round back-to-back years. His first 2 years there, he went 5-5 his first year, and then he got eliminated in the first round. And the next year they went 8-4. I mean, you know, I'll tell you what I think it would look like. I think it would be something similar to his second stint at Louisville. And that's not bad. Again, he produced several All-Americans, a Heisman, first-round talent, and he went 9-4 his first year, 8-5 his second year, 9-4 his third year, 8-5 his fourth year, and then it fell apart his fifth year. I can't project that far out, but I think it could be something similar to that. I think he can get Arkansas to probably 7, maybe 8, maybe in a 9-win season, maybe once in the next.
Let's be honest. Even Lane Kiffin was interviewed the other day when they announced the new SEC schedules, and he was like, "Hey, Lane Kiffin and Hugh Freeze both said the same thing. Fans have got to be prepared for an 8 and 9 win season to be a good season.
Yeah,
because this scheduling is so brutal to everybody.
Yeah,
that fans are going to have to learn that 8 wins is a good season or 9 wins is a good season. You're not going to see a lot of undefeated seasons with the scheduling the way it is."
Well, it's kind of like the way college football used to be when you only played 11 games. Like a 9-win season was like, oh, okay. That's what Arkansas did in the 80s. They constantly won 9 games a year, 9 to 10 games a year in the 80s under Hatfield.
Well, now you're a 9 SEC games and 1 Power 4.
Yeah.
I mean, that's 10 tough games no matter how you slice it.
That is fair. And I wasn't thinking about that when I was putting that number together. I still think he could get to, I think he would be about a 7 to 8 wins a year kind of coach.
I would love 8 wins.
Well, yeah. And like they haven't been able to do that, and that is slightly better than Pittman. I only say that because I think he would, like, at the very end of the day, it would be, I guess the word bridge hire has kind of been thrown around, or the phrase. I think it'd be a bridge hire. I think it would help kind of elevate the job a little bit. Maybe that would be the Mike Anderson hire equivalent, right? I know everyone says that Pittman was, but yeah, I do still hope they go out and get somebody. By the way, I do. I hope they go out and they can get someone. I think Mullen is completely off the radar. He's off the map. I think several other coaches will be as this thing grows. But again, it's just getting more and more realistic. Hey, I want to talk about really quick before we get off here. I know we're up against it. We got a few minutes left.
Yep.
Arkansas has to fix these problems or die. If they want any shot, if Bobby wants a shot at being the head coach, they've got to fix this stuff. And it's going to be obvious, but I think it's the specifics that might kind of blow your mind a little bit. Arkansas's pass blocking is getting worse as the weeks go by. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride. They kind of have a bad week and then they turn it around. They have an okay week. But for the most part, it's not trending in the direction we want it to. And it's looking very similar to a little while back, a couple of years ago, when they thought they had a pretty good offensive line, and then all of a sudden they started giving up sack after sack and really started. I mean, I know that was an issue last year too, but against Alabama A&M, Green operated with a 71% clean pocket percentage. Arkansas State, 83% clean. That's unheard of against anybody. Against anybody, that's insane. Based off 24 dropbacks, he had a clean pocket 83% of the time against Arkansas State. Hell, against Ole Miss, he was at 71.1% with a clean pocket. Under pressure, just 28%. That's pretty good. That's ideal versus a program like Ole Miss on the road. At Memphis, we start to see the drop-off. 66% of the time he had a clean pocket, meaning 33.3% he's under pressure. Notre Dame, believe it or not, he actually did operate with a 76% clean pocket percentage based off 28 dropbacks. The fault was on him. He only completed 55% of those clean pocket throws, no touchdowns with a pick. That's not good. And again, that was against Notre Dame. And then you go to Tennessee, he drops back down. His clean pocket drops down to 64%. Mm-hmm. And then under pressure, 35. A&M, the worst clean pocket percentage he has had all year to operate with, 52% clean pocket. So that means he was under pressure 48% of his dropbacks.
Well, and that goes to when you say A&M's defense was garbage. I mean, was it garbage if they were getting that much pressure?
Well, like I said,
was our offense making, I know, but I'm just saying, was our offense actually making them look not as good as they are if they were able to get that much pressure? Because have we put that much pressure on anybody except for Alabama A&M all season?
They, I'm getting crazy feedback in my headphones. Yeah, I mean, we got to remember this all mostly came from one player for them.
Yeah.
How?
That's fair. That is fair.
Outside of that, like, they really didn't rack up a whole bunch of pressures outside of him. He was a beast. I'm not saying other players didn't get pressures, but he was a problem. And we knew that going into it. And I've said before, they've got pieces up front on that front seven that are pretty good, that are really good. As a whole, that defense is not elite. It's not. Garbage might have been too harsh of a word. That clearly triggered some people in my post game. All right. I'm sorry. All right. Garbage is too harsh. Yeah, they're just not a very good defense. I don't think they are. But I do want to give credit to Petrino in that offense. I mean, I've done nothing but brag on them this whole live. They were absolutely a problem for that A&M average defense. And the problem, and here's another area they got to get better at, and that's the under pressure numbers by Green. I mean, if you want to win games, dude, this 27% completion off pressures, 33% completions off pressures against Tennessee. He's only once, I believe, completed, I think it's 40% under pressure. He's only done that once. And that's just abysmal. I'm sorry, I take that back, twice. He did against Alabama A&M. He had 11 dropbacks. He was pressured 28% of those dropbacks. Completion percentage of 40%, 2 of 5 against them under pressure. Green is just garbage under pressure. I think that's fair. Can I say it there? He's garbage under pressure. I think that's fair. When you're dabbling with 30% completion, and your PFF numbers under pressure have been 40.9, 36.1. I think only once he did okay, and that was against A&M, Alabama A&M. 77 was his pressure grade, or his offense under pressure. He also had a game. Where was it? Ole Miss. He completed 1 of 8 under pressure. That's 13% completion ratio. It's 13%, and he ended up with a 28.7 pass grade against them with the under pressure pass grade. His overall grade was 69.7 against Ole Miss. It's this stuff has got to get cleaned up. It's got to get cleaned up. I'm not saying he's got to throw 80% under pressure. No quarterback does that. Their numbers all dip when they go under pressure. That's just a fact of the matter. But his really, really dip. Another area, we can go all day about the secondary. We all know the secondary is absolute booty cheeks. We get it. But they it's obviously they got to get something figured out there. I think it's kind of a lost cause with that secondary. I will say this: it's been since Memphis the last time this Arkansas defense got a takeaway. Think about that. It's been since Memphis since they've taken the ball away, and it's now been back-to-back weeks since a sack. The Hogs have 1 sack in 3 weeks, so obviously the pass rush has got to get better. Petrino talked about it. I'm not completely giving up on their ability to get to the quarterback and pressure him, not maybe racking up sacks, but forcing incomplete throws and maybe force a pick. God help them if they could ever do that. This stuff's got to get fixed, Tim. And if it doesn't, it could be an uphill climb to get a win. It really could. That is absolutely – that has a seat at that table we love to talk about. Of not winning a single game because you can't get shit fixed, because Green can't fix his under pressure throws, because your defense is just not worth a hill of beans, and it could cost them if they can't get some of this stuff figured out.
True, that's true.
John Oliver says that's ridiculous. Lack of pressure and turnovers generated is crazy. It's absurd, and it's a reflection of Travis Williams as a defensive coordinator here. I mean, I'm just going to say it's absolutely a reflection of him as a defensive coordinator at Arkansas. I mean, this is what you get. Wasn't a fan of him last year, and I thought last year they should have walked away from him because you could see the writing on the wall. This was not going to get better. It was going to get worse before it ever got better, and it was never going to get better. So, all right, we're going to share this link. This is the
you can see how far I've come in 2 years.
There's the link if you guys want to go watch that. You should be able to click on that and check it out after we're done here. But we do appreciate everyone. Shout out to Tim for taking a little bit of time out. Of course, for these Monday night shows, they're always a lot of fun. We were asked really quick about our prediction for the basketball exhibition, which is Cincinnati on the 24th. I'm going to be real. I've not done any. I've not looked at Cincy at all.
I haven't either. I mean, off the wall, throwing spaghetti at the wall prediction. It's actually going to be a close game. Our guys haven't played anybody but themselves, really. And I think some of them have talked about it in their press conferences, how it's just going to be nice to have some exhibition against some other teams.
Yeah.
Just to play some other people. And I think Calipari even said that coming out of Hot Springs. So it'll be a nice gauge for where they are before the season starts, and it'll probably be close. I think both coaches are probably using it to evaluate starting lineups and 6-man and things like that, and not so much about we're going to try to beat you to prove how good we are for the start of the season. It's not that kind of game. So you'll probably see a lot of players play and a lot of different groupings of players to evaluate how guys play together.
I know I was doing some brief kind of looking at them. I know they got a number of like freshmen on their roster. I was trying to pull that up right here. I know last year I don't think they beat, but maybe one ranked opponent all year last year. Could be wrong about that, but yeah, they were pretty vanilla last year. They see if I can pull this up. I know they had. Yeah, they finished the year with just one. They finished 1-4 their final 5 games. They lost to Houston. They gave Houston a pretty good game, 73-64. Haven't done a lot of research on this exhibition, but it is televised, or it's not televised, but you can watch it on SEC Network Plus, 7 p.m. tip-off Friday night. I do plan on doing it because I definitely need to do a little bit more research on Cincy to get ready, because I probably will do a post game for that if I'm available. And Memphis as well. Memphis Monday night's going to be a busy night for your boy. That game's on ESPNU, and I'm really looking forward to that. I don't like that it's at the FedEx Forum. I really wish that one was in Bud Walton, but oh well, you get Cincy, I guess, in Bud Walton. Not that that's much of a trade-off, but yeah, I plan on doing a post game for Cincinnati at the moment. That could change because it is an exhibition. The season starts, Tim, November 3rd.
I know. I can't wait.
November 3rd, baby. All right, everybody. Shout out also to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than the best results out of Central Arkansas, Little Rock. You guys give them a call. Over 1,000 5-star overall reviews. Same-day services. Give them a call, 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door company. We
Travis
appreciate
can't
you.
fix Arkansas's defense, but he can fix your garage door.
He can't fix his cell coverage.
Can't fix his technical difficulties, but he can fix your garage door.
That's right. All right, everybody. We will see you on Wednesday. Hopefully, I have both these guys here, but one way or another, we'll be here Wednesday night, 6:30. We'll see you then.
Could not live with your own failure. And where did that bring you? Back to me.